a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Open the pod bay doors, Val.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies close.
I am nothing! No one!
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Get busy living. You get busy dying.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Cinemaze, a podcast where a bunch of mates chat about cinema over some drinks. Today I'm joined by my friends Sam and Lucy. Thank you for coming on. How are you both?
Hello.
Hi.
No, I'm well. Thanks for having us.
Very well. Great to be
Very,
here.
very excited.
Good. Very, very keen to have you both on. Sam and Lucy are diehard fans of Paramount's Yellowstone. So today we are breaking down the recent and controversial season 4. So created by John Linson and Taylor Sheridan, it stars the iconic Kevin Costner, Kelly Riley, list goes on. And to help us get through the episode, we will be drinking some Jack Daniels
The Tennessee whiskey.
in honor of John Dutton and the great state of Montana.
It's the closest I could get to Montana.
It doesn't taste very good, but
It's awful.
It's yum.
It's shocking.
it's terrible. But anyway, nonetheless, we go on. So as always with these episodes, to get an idea of who our guests are and what they like to watch, we start off with a few questions. So first question, I'll start with you, Lucy. Steven Spielberg or Quentin Tarantino?
Definitely Steven Spielberg. Massive fan of Saving Private Ryan and
Okay.
Schindler's List. Two of the greats, I'd say.
Yeah,
So
very good.
Yeah, definitely him.
Great movies there. Sam?
I'd have to agree with Steven Spielberg. I just think, his broad range of movies is so impressive. I'm a big Saving Private Ryan fan. Also, Shrek. It's pretty.
Did he
hard.
do Shrek?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
He was involved with Shrek. And like one of my favorite I just watched it as well. Band of Brothers as well. Incredible.
Yeah,
So,
really good series.
I love both, but Steven Spielberg's pretty, in a level of his own.
For sure. Next question, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones?
I haven't actually seen Breaking Bad.
Okay,
But
that's
Game
all
of
right.
Thrones, I watched the first season, but the incest, I couldn't get past
There
it.
is, yeah,
It
there's
was
some...
too much, so I can't say either from
Shaky.
a big...
Did you stop after
I
one
actually
season?
stopped. I was like,
Wow.
I actually can't deal with this.
Okay, fair enough. There is a lot of very
Yeah.
gory and
The brother and sister.
detailed.
It's
Oh,
a really
it's just-
because I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Nah, it
But
Yeah,
was a bit much.
fair enough.
That's a lot. I'm Breaking Bad. I love that. I've watched it twice. Vince Gilligan is just incredible. It's
so good.
for me. That is like one of the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Second best anyway. But yeah, I just love it.
For sure. I think Breaking Bad for me, really, because that came out 2011 kind of, so still in high school, and that really opened up TV shows
It's
in
just
general. It's so good.
It's amazing.
Oh, it was ages
The character
ago.
development
Yeah.
of that
Been
is
around for
amazing. The fact
ages.
you're cheering for the villain is awesome as well.
Yeah, definitely. Next question, Emma Stone or Emma Watson?
Emma Stone,
Emma Stone.
all the way. Easy A.
Breaks my
Great.
heart.
Great movie.
Well,
Absolute legend movie.
La La Land. I'll die on that hill any day. I'm
So good.
Emma Stone.
Do either of you like Harry Potter and Emma Watson in there?
I like
or-
Harry Potter, but I'm not a huge fan.
Okay, that's all
I
right.
feel like
Yeah,
Emma Stone,
yeah.
she's in more of a variety.
I'm the same.
She is.
I love Harry Potter, but I'm not one of those guys who's like,
Obsessed.
obsessed
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
I didn't know the guys did that.
No, but the people who just are like, I'm such a Harry Potter head. Like, my
Yeah,
sister's
yeah.
one of them. It's just like, nah.
That's all right. Next question, Marvel or Star Wars?
Definitely Marvel. Not really a big Star Wars fan, so definitely would go
Okay.
with Marvel on this.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yes, I have.
And didn't like it?
I watched them all with my brother, and I can't gain a connection with the characters.
That's okay, yeah.
It's a bit out there for me.
Sam? Marvel or Star Wars?
Has to be Star Wars for me. I'm such a big Star Wars fan. I love Marvel. I think it's sick. I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Star Wars, though, I just think is just such a classic, so ahead of its time. I mean, the recent ones can honestly go get nicked, but these 4, 5, 6, and 3
3 was really
best.
good.
Like 3 is just it's incredible.
Do you watch like The Mandalorian? And
Yeah. So
They're
I
great.
think that's brought it back a bit. The Mandalorian a bit. I've started Boba Fett as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just a bit of a Star Wars. That's my little thing I like.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Next question: Succession or Euphoria, Lucy?
Euphoria. I'm a massive Zendaya fan. I think
Yeah.
Rue, she's like such a complicated but awesome character. I love her. I think it's great.
Yeah, Euphoria is really good.
It is.
Sam?
I agree. I like
See?
Euphoria. I mean,
Exactly
it's a bit
right.
full on. It's a bit
is.
much.
I think it's real.
But I haven't seen Succession, so I love Euphoria. But I have a few gripes with it, but it's all right.
Definitely Succession one to watch, but Euphoria is great.
I do have
Yes.
to check that out.
Next question, into the deeper ones. Most memorable movie that you've seen in cinemas?
I'm going to have to say Marley and Me at Avoca Beach
Nice.
Cinemas with
Yeah.
my fam. Bawling my eyes out at the end.
Oh,
When my dog dies, it'll be like that.
Marley and Me is so good.
It's very good.
Sam?
Mine would be Star Wars 3. I saw that in 2005. with
Yeah.
my dad. I was like 5 years old, but
Yeah.
I still remember it.
Yeah.
I remember it was just like that last scene is just so epic. But like Star Wars, the new Spider-Man though as well is probably a very close second, if not just at the same level. Like that was
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Both incredible. I very vividly remember watching Revenge of the Sith and just being like so depressed after all the Jedi get killed.
It's so full on.
It is.
incredible.
Still remember it.
Yeah.
Next question: fastest TV show binge.
Queen of the South.
What?
Yeah, it's just about this Mexican drug cartel. It's honestly amazing. You should definitely
I don't
give
think
it a
I've
watch.
ever heard of it. What is it?
Queen of the South. It's like
Neither.
Teresa Mendoza. She's this Mexican lady. She comes from like literally nothing, and she builds this massive drug empire. So
Wow.
Good for her.
give it a watch if
What's
you
it
haven't
on?
seen it on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So it's
Queen
really
of the
good.
South.
Yeah,
How fast was the binge?
I think I watched it all in like a month, and there's like 5 seasons.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Some serious...
lockdown though. Lockdown.
Yeah, true.
So
No, that's good.
not much going on.
Good binge there. Sam?
I've binged some shows pretty hard in my time, but I think I'd have to say How I Met Your Mother, for the reason that when I first watched it, it was just like crack. I was just obsessed with it, and then the
Obsessed with crack as well.
and then I've done it like 5 or 6 times since. Like I've literally
You've watched it 6 times?
I swear to God, I've watched it 6 times, and
Oh my
that's
gosh.
watching it all the way through.
From season 1 to 9.
Yes,
All like
every
20 episodes.
like the Ducky Tie, Robot
180
Wars, Slaps Giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Like it's
Do you
all.
feel like every time you watch it, it's different?
Yeah, you pick up on little
Yeah,
nuances
little
and
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
I just love it. I'm just such
It's so
a
good.
geek, and I have like one of my best mates, Tom, as well. Like we watch it when we're scouting and just love it. Yeah. It's
Favorite episode, do you reckon?
there's one. It's the it's a time traveling robots versus wrestlers.
Yeah.
And at the end, he runs to his wife's house and he goes like, "Hey, like you don't know me, but 45 days we're gonna meet and we're gonna fall in love and have kids and I'd do anything to get those 45 days back." And then her boyfriend comes out. It's just like really, foreshadows the ending of How I Met Your Mother. I
That's
won't
good.
spoil it, but it's just incredible. Like that's
So
my
good.
favorite episode.
So good. Next question. Movie that you think everyone needs to see, Lucy.
Back to Spielberg. I think I'm a massive modern history fan. Schindler's List.
Yeah.
An absolute movie
I
that
actually haven't seen that.
I think honestly it's real. It's very real.
Very
and
real.
Really, yeah, I think it's a movie that everyone definitely, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch. If you're not really aware of what happened, it's very, very enlightening.
Very different from his other
Very different.
Is it in
movies
black
as
and
well.
white?
Black and white.
And then-
I've seen the ending
most of
scene
it.
where he's like, "I could have saved you,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
this pin."
No, but
this
then
and-
there's some that's
Some
in
that's
colour.
coloured. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You should definitely watch
He
it.
plays
Sam.
with that a lot, actually. Spielberg, like coloring in movies.
He does. And I think it's really good in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it's definitely
Schindler's
definitely
List.
worth
Very
watch.
sad, obviously.
Very
but
sad, but real because like that's
Very real. Sam?
For me, it'd be my favorite movie of all time, Good Will Hunting. It's just, I
Yeah.
think it's just the best movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it a billion times. There's so many great monologues in there, like when he's in the bar and you spend $150,000 on education.
Yeah,
You don't know what it's like smells like in the Sistine Chapel. Like, it's just got so many great
Yeah.
quotable moments, and the development of the character in the story is just beautiful. And the fact that we're so young and the story of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon is just it's
so good.
So young, hey?
I don't love you, Skylar.
Next question. TV show that you're watching at the moment, Lucy.
Inventing Anna.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
Any good?
But Anna Delvey, yeah, it's amazing how she can just like manipulate people into giving her so much money. But when you watch it, you're like, I would believe her.
Really?
She told me she was doing like she builds up these businesses and she gives these people so much hope.
Yeah.
And they just throw money at her. And now Netflix are paying her for the rights.
Yeah.
What?
And it's like she's been in
conned-
jail.
What's true?
Yeah, it's a true story. She's been in jail, and now that she's out, they've like bought
She's
the rights
conned
of her.
Netflix into
Literally
making
conned Netflix.
TV show.
She's a genius.
That's so meta.
She's a
Awesome.
genius.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So good.
Sam?
Mine would be I just finished Band of Brothers like last
Okay.
week or something, which I just loved.
Yeah.
And I started watching Modern Family again,
Okay.
and I've been ranting about it to my friends because it was on binge.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. Like it is. The writing is. I literally pissed myself laughing.
It is really
I've
good.
messaged Nick and like my mates a bunch of times, just being like, "This is absurdly funny." Ed O'Neill.
It is very funny.
Yeah. Modern Family's great. So this episode we are back with the Cinemates elevator pitch, and today we've got Jordan, who has been ranting to me about this TV show for quite a while. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Hey Mike, today I'm pitching the docu-series on Netflix based on Kanye West, Genius. It follows around in the early parts of his career before he really took off. I know cinemaze is based on characters, but I truly feel like he fits that mold just with how famous he ended up becoming and just how much of an influential figure he is. So, mate, if you give it a try, I'd be very keen to come on and discuss it with you.
Interesting. Genius. Kanye West. I have heard some very good things. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard my Kanye West friends just rave. about
Kanye
it
is just
relentlessly.
off the rails. He
He
really
is.
is just
I
lost
would-
the plot.
Yeah.
I'm really into that music. Like I love all that
His
stuff,
music's
so,
great.
Yeah,
I
think-
would be very interested to see what his upbringing was like.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that might be Sunday morning for me, to be honest.
For sure, yeah. So yeah, Jordan, if
That'd
it's
be a
any
good
good,
one. Hungover?
Yeah, a bit,
B&E roll?
Bit sad. Watch
Nice.
Kanye West's tough upbringing.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah. So Jordan, if it's any good, we'll see if you can get on the podcast for it. Okay, so now into Yellowstone. To the listeners out there who haven't watched season 4 yet or the show itself, Yellowstone, what would you guys say about the show in one word this season?
This season, I would say the one word I'd pick would be scenery. I think it's very big on all the different ranches. You got like the Sixes, and then you've obviously got the Yellowstone Ranch. So I think the scenery is massive in this season, especially. Not much else maybe going on, but the scenery is huge.
For sure, definitely agree. Sam?
I think
one
for
word?
this season, I'd say scattered. I think it's just a bit all over the shop. I mean, if I was telling a new person about Yellowstone, though, I'd say like epic or like Peaky Blinders with cowboys or something. But
Yeah.
this season, scattered. Bit all over the shop.
Yeah. My one word for this season, I'm going to say messy. But I hadn't watched Yellowstone until this season was out, and all my friends were watching
Michael.
it, and I was like, okay, I need to watch this. And I binged watched the whole 3 seasons previous in like 10 days, and it was so good. So definitely watch Yellowstone, although season 4, messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To that point, I mean, I told you this as well. Like with Yellowstone, I binged it all in a matter of a few weeks. Like
Yeah.
I was just obsessed with it, and I do think initially when I watched it, like I couldn't have a bad word to say about it because
Yeah.
I was caught up in the afterglow of the epicness of seasons 1, 2, and 3.
For sure.
Like, it was so great. But then upon rewatching it in preparation for this, I was like, hang on. And I sort of had my little Cinemates cap on, trying to dissect and be clever and but also just like look at it from a different
Yeah.
scope. And,
For sure.
I feel like though you guys watched it, like you binged it, whereas I watched Yellowstone like when it first came out.
Season
So I
after
was
season.
waiting
Right.
so long for season
She was
4
so
that I
excited.
was just so excited that it came out
Yeah.
that I wasn't really comparing it to the seasons before that. I was just
That's
like,
true.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is like
That's
my
really
favorite
true.
I'm
show.
like that with Peaky Blinders and a couple other shows.
Yeah. So-
similar thing.
Definitely still watch it though, nonetheless, if you haven't already.
you have to watch it.
Unreal.
Yeah, there's going to be some spoilers from here, but definitely one to watch. So just to get your minds back into where season 4 kind of took us, Rip and the surviving Duttons recover from the attacks on their lives in season 3, and they seek their revenge on whoever's responsible. We don't know at this point. Meanwhile, Jamie grows closer to his biological father, who has, his own sort of fatherly advice for him this season. Thomas Rainwater continues to fight for his rights and power, and so does Market Equities, where the CEO, she shows up to re-energize their feud with the Dutton Ranch and the Confederated Tribes. And also Jimmy becomes a cowboy in Texas. Beth and Rip also get married, and Casey dances with a few wolves. So
Yeah.
that was season 4. Let's get into it. Just to kind of get some more thoughts, we decided to reach out to the Cinemates community, and we've got a few mailbags here. So I'll just read out what a few people had to say about season 4 of Yellowstone. We've got Will. He said, "What an absolute ripper of a show. Who wouldn't want to see Kevin Costner on horseback?"
Great point.
Agree.
Great point.
Yeah, definitely.
good.
Definitely agree. We've got Tristan. He said it ranks 4th out of all the seasons, but the drop off in quality between seasons 1, 2, and 3 and season 4 was big.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
That's a good one.
Mitch says was pretty intense, although Beth's kind of annoying me now. Hey,
I cannot agree with you on that, Mitch. I'm sorry.
I think I agree with where Mitch is coming from, and we'll touch on it later, but
No.
definitely an interesting comment there. Matt, he says Rip is the GOAT.
Yeah. Nice.
As always, can definitely vouch for that.
Yeah.
Josh
100%.
says underwhelming, and it loaded too much on the action in the first episode.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Which
First
is,
episode, yeah.
yeah,
It was a lot.
it was a lot, and we'll touch on it. And then last comment, we got Fraser. He says massive meh. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of at least what the Cinemates community has to say about season 4. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
What were your guys' thoughts on the season? Start with you, Lucy.
I definitely think that season 4 is a bit of a filler. I feel like a lot happened in season 1 to 3. Season 4, as I was saying before, it's more about the scenery. I really enjoyed the path that Jimmy went on. I think the Sixers Ranch, like as Sam was telling me before, there's going to be a spin-off with that.
Yeah, there
So
is.
I think that's kind
They're
of, it
planning
was a
that.
really good kind of setup of what's going to happen with that. I do agree with you guys though, it wasn't the best. The other 3 seasons definitely were better, but I don't think it should get as much hate as people are putting out there.
I agree. I think I don't think it deserves to be hated, but like I've got some gripes with this season, in particularly that first episode as well, and the first and the last, the bookends.
Yeah.
Like, so at the end of season 3, like the whole family gets murked.
Bombed.
Like Casey gets shot.
Beth
John,
gets bombed.
John gets shot so many times.
John gets shot like literally 20 times.
Yeah.
And then Beth is about a meter away from a
death.
bomb.
From a bomb, yeah.
that blows up a whole building. and so you leave that thinking,
Oh,
They're all dead.
wow, this is going to take a change. Like maybe Rip's going to take over the ranch,
Yeah.
like
they
whatever.
could have done so many things.
It could have gone on a completely different way, and then they wake up in season 4. Beth is just been blown up, but she's fine though, and she just decides to
She's
have a
not
dart.
fine.
Yes, she is.
She's got
burned.
so many injuries.
Oh,
Her
she's
burns
a
are
little bit
terrible.
burnt, but she's fine, and that she's
has a
fine enough
ciggy.
that she can have a dart on the side of the road.
Yeah, but it's been like a long time. I don't think it's
No,
like
it hasn't.
The
It's-
bomb. No, it has. It definitely has. I think it's been like a few months since the bomb went off.
Sorry,
Obviously,
no.
John's
No,
been
wait,
in the
wait, wait.
coma.
Sorry, you're wrong.
At the start of the season,
The start of the season,
she has a
is
ciggy
Beth,
and is
is
still
Beth
okay,
covered in
you're talking
blood on the side of the road.
I know what
with a
you're
ciggy.
talking about. She has the scars
Yeah,
and
like
she's better.
quite hurt though.
Yeah,
still.
but
Yeah.
I'm more trying to say like, I mean, okay, if you miraculously survived, it's not just a couple burns. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just found that a bit ridiculous.
she's a legend.
John
What
got
can I
shot.
say?
John got shot and was lying there for like hours.
bleeding.
Bleeding out. Like people die in war like a lot quicker than that. This guy's like 60 or like 70. Like
he's John
doesn't
Dutton,
die.
mate.
Yeah.
He can do anything.
yeah, so I don't know. I was like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, I mean that's just for the start of it was a bit like upon rewatching it was just like actually this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I had such high hopes after that season 3 finale. I was like, oh my god, I've just binged this thing. I've like followed the family. You know, they're all so injured, and like you're like, who's done this? Like, who's actually done this out of all the people? And then
proud of it.
first episode, they're all fine, like in their own way.
John's not though.
fine.
John's in a,
he's a bit messed up.
He's
he
just,
can't walk at the start. No, he can't. He can't.
yes, he can.
No,
he's
he
walking.
can't.
He's
with a
walking with
walker.
a, like-
with holding his little IV drip.
No,
Yeah, IV drip.
Yeah, but he's not like able.
No,
he's not
but-
back on the ranch.
Well, like he should be
Like, you-
paralyzed.
That's
he
what I
got
mean. Like,
completely
put him in a
murked.
wheelchair or something. But like,
he got blitzed.
yeah. Anyway, all I have to say is that they kind of like in the first 3 episodes, they like wrap it all back up. Everyone's okay. Obviously, Beth is got some serious scars. John's a bit.
We got to find out who did this.
Yeah, exactly.
just like,
and then
who did this?
like you're waiting all season for like who actually did it,
yeah.
and it's just like it was a bit underwhelming. They could have taken it in a more interesting direction.
I think as well after that they then filled out with all these like subplots like okay, Monica's not happy because it's so dangerous. So
Monica
and who's such an annoying whiny just
cannot
gronk.
stand her.
Yeah, she's just a gronk. Like
She
she's just
sucks.
like it's like oh like
Did she smile this entire season?
No. And she needs to get Tate
no.
up. Like Tate is under the bed. Get him out. Like you're his mum.
On that, hang on, let me say on that. So Tate was kidnapped by these mercenaries. He would be the most like traumatized kid ever, and we do see that at the start. He's like very PTSD, whatever.
But that's more from the shooting.
Casey.
That's from the shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. And then Casey's like, "Nah, that's it, son. You got to get out under the bed." And then he just like, "Okay." And
just
he's
comes
like,
out.
"Fine for the rest of the season."
Get out of the bed, and he's just like,
And Monica's
yes,
like,
sir.
"No, he needs to stay under
She
there."
wants him to stay under the bed.
Yeah.
She's
And then
sulking.
he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Anyway,
It's so
that really
ridiculous.
like annoyed me.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say is like, what actually like developed this season? Like market equities, nothing really happened. Like they tried to like start the village and airport and stuff.
A few things happened. Like market equity sort of did start this takeover, and then to which Beth had cunningly whipped into the contract with her old company, that she is the owner and all this stuff. So that sort of developed, but not really. That sort of just stagnated and just
It was
remained.
just flat.
That just sort of remained
Yeah,
whilst
nothing
this other
much
stuff
happened.
went on, and it was a lot more personal about the characters and their
Yeah.
stuff. And look, I think we've started this by like sort of shit talking this season a lot, which is like because the expectations were
Very high.
So high.
so high because the opening 2 seasons in particular were incredible. Like they're so epic.
They're great.
Absolutely insane. So I don't want this to be like a hating thing on Yellowstone at all, especially this season.
We
because,
love it.
I mean, it still had a lot of the great stuff. Like it still had a bit of action. Like you had the return of Walker and all this stuff as well. Like Steve developed. You had Jimmy's love life, which we love.
We do. We
Even
love
Rip
that.
and Beth, their relationship.
Yeah, Rip and Beth
they
developed.
grew.
And I think I'd like to point out 2 things that I really did like they did in this season, which was one, they brought that classic Yellowstone cinema photography and the nod to like they dramatize and beautified cowboys.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
And I love the scenes of the rodeos and where they're doing
the
all these
rodeo.
showing of the horses.
Yeah.
I mean, it made me literally start Googling horse riding lessons. Sydney.
Yeah.
Because it was
Horse riding lessons.
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go to Centennial
go.
Park. I'm going to Centennial Park next week. But I googled it.
What, you're gonna circle around on these
Oh,
horses?
yeah.
Keep going around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I think
like they did that really well.
yeah.
And then I think as well. I mean, like some of the plot was just the writing was a bit like kind of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But there can't always be heaps of stuff happening.
That is true.
I think this, as you were saying, like the scenery is incredible.
It is.
It's incredible, and you just watch it, and you're like, wow, that's like real life over there. That's how people live on those ranches.
Yeah.
I think it's a filler. Big things are
and
coming.
What you said before, Lucy, when you gave your one word as scenery, in catching up to this show, and like the cinematography is insane, and like you appreciate how beautiful Montana is.
It's amazing.
And same with you, Sam, while you're drinking your Jack
whiskey.
Daniels. Yeah, I appreciate more like agriculture and ranches and farms in America.
And I tell you, I did have a gripe with this season, but it's also worked out well. I hated this John Dutton falling in love with this vegan girl.
Oh my god. We will
What
get into
a
that. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. Let's segue now because we'll go straight into John Dutton.
Okay.
Let's talk about the character arcs. Let's talk about John's character arc in this season. What did you think, Sam? Maybe you start first.
Absolutely pathetic. He's my favorite character, and he's like Casey. He's so cool, and he drinks his whiskey, and he's just like this boss. But
Yeah.
I mean, this season, like, so he becomes governor, and he like sort of
Purely just to
like
just
fuck
piss
over
off
Jamie,
Jamie,
yeah.
yeah.
And that was cool. But then they didn't really explore that much at all.
That was
like
it.
he was just he's governor, he stands there and does that, and then it's sayonara. Like
That
that's
is
it.
true, yeah,
Yeah.
not
They
much
just
happened.
nixed that plot line completely.
100%.
Then he meets this vegan protester, and they're sort of
can't
giving
stand her.
they're giving a nod to like left wing progressive culture and social media creeping into the good state of Montana, and that's like I get that, like a bunch of shows have done that. Like
Yeah.
I saw like Shameless did that towards the end, and they're sort of giving a nod to this stuff, but he then falls, or he sleeps with her, and then they like fight, but then. And it was just all, it didn't really go anywhere. Like, I mean,
was
she ended up
weird.
going to prison. It was, but it was just a bit of a
Then he
dud.
goes to the prison though to
It was
try to
just
get her out.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
a dud plot
Oh,
line.
it was weird.
I
Like,
did like about it though, that he then, the point of the story was that he showed her what agriculture was.
that was nice.
Yeah.
But
She appreciated it.
yeah, like she hated him and everything about him. And then they get together, and then she's like going to go to prison for 15 years, and he lowers the sentence. Like,
Yeah.
and that's it. Oh, sick. That's awesome television.
Rubbish.
And like, yeah, he just ran for governor purely just to piss off Jamie. And there's that scene where
But
Jamie's about to get, hang on. We'll talk about Jamie soon, but there's that scene where Jamie's about to go downstairs and be like announced as like who the previous governor's supporting, and then John is there with Beth, and John just like walks in front of him. He's like, nah, I'm going in. And it's like sick. Awesome. Like that's
just rubbish.
It's
It's really weird writing. Like,
it's so weird.
for the budget of the show, the success of the show. It's just, I don't know.
Anyway, maybe we go to Jamie next on that note. What do we think of Jamie's arc this season?
Luce?
I think that Jamie's relationship with his dad, I thought that was a really...
His biological...
his biological dad. That was an interesting progression, because at the start, obviously, it kind of was like that he was siding with his biological dad more, like not the Duttons.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the end when Beth is like, you have to kill him, you kind of see that he still does have his morals lying with the Duttons. And in a way that kind of made, I don't know if it's just me in general, but I felt a greater connection with him when I absolutely despised him previously to this. But then I was kind of like, wait, he actually still does have that affiliation with his family and kind of know what the right thing to do in the situation was. So
yeah, for sure.
I really enjoyed watching his relationship with his biological dad throughout the season.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if people agree, but I, coming into the show new, I actually kind of like Jamie, but...
What?
Hang on. Hear me out. I think, no, I don't like him. I don't like love him.
Is
but
this in season 4 or throughout you've liked him?
I just like thought he was just like a, good lawyer for the family, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like, he just gets shat on like every season, like, cause he's obviously adopted.
Because he's a dick.
What he did to Beth.
But they also,
So-
they revealed that.
They did reveal that in this season.
In this
No,
season,
season 3. No,
season three, and then
Okay.
this is where it plays. And for those who don't know, like they revealed that Jamie pretty much Beth got pregnant when she was young,
Yeah.
and then Jamie took her to an abortion clinic, which made
her sterile.
But
made her
she also
sterile
didn't know that
without
it was
her
going to make
knowing.
her sterile.
Yeah, so it was a
Yeah.
pretty. He basically made the call at the age of 15 that his sister's never going to be able to have kids, which is pretty
chilling.
It's disgusting.
Was it wait? Was it known that it was going to make her sterile, or
Yeah,
was it a risk?
he knew.
No, he knew.
He
Yes,
knew.
Right.
But he
So
didn't.
so that explains why she hates him so
Okay.
He didn't
much.
tell
Hates
her
his
that
guts.
though. He
Because
didn't
the
tell
person
her.
said, like, "Are you aware this is like a traditional clinic or something where
It was an Indian.
Oh.
yeah
Native American.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I
and
did
he
not
said
pick
yes,
this up
and he
at
made the
all.
call, didn't tell her, and then now she's sterile, and then it's just like
Okay, that completely changes.
So that's
Yes.
yeah.
No, hang on. I
Sorry.
literally thought that it was like a normal abortion clinic, and there was the risk of
No.
No, he
becoming
made the
sterile.
call.
So what it was
So I
was
thought
like
he
they
was
could
like-
have gone to the normal abortion clinic, but everyone would have found out that Beth was having an
This
abortion.
is a private one.
Wow.
But they
weren't
were like, we
saying-
don't want to like affect the family's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes everything. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, Beth videoing him after having killed his biological father, like, does she need to do that?
So I thought that was weird as well. Like this, I mean,
I didn't like that.
I found it weird that the way in which like she was just like choose a side, and then
She
she's like-
told him to kill him.
she's like kill your
Yeah,
dad,
she
and
told her
he
dad.
goes okay. I mean, he's such a
he's a
He's a man
pushover.
of many stones, Jamie. He will just flip and flop. But I just think it's weird. Then, yeah, like he takes his dad to the train station.
at Wyoming.
It's a one-way ride.
Yeah.
and throws him down the hill. And Beth's filming it, and she's just like, "Now I've got you." And it's like, "What do you mean? Now you've got me? Like, I already killed the journalist. Like, he already killed the journalist, and they already covered that up for him.
Yeah.
It was just another stupid writing flaw that
was
didn't need to be
weird.
in there."
On that note, let's
Yeah.
get into Beth.
God.
Oh my god. Okay. Let me just give my thoughts of Beth first. So she adopts this random kid, then like throws him into the ranch. He's got to scoop up shit all season, and then just like keeps hating on him because he's like he doesn't know the proper like manners and stuff. Whatever. Then the rest of the season, I reckon 90% of the season, she's either like firing her receptionist at market at Market Equities, or like storming out of rooms. Like every time she got down to the like Dutton breakfast table or whatever,
She'd
storms
storm
out
out straight away.
and like cause an argument. And then at the end of the season, she finds out that this random prisoner was hired to do the killing, which was the big ending of the previous season. And she's like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to kill him with a hairpin. She's asking Walker, like,
I'm gonna kill a 125 kilo, 6'3"
Yeah.
man with a hairpin.
yeah.
Me,
And,
Beth Dutton.
like she, like most wealthy family in the state
Could have organized a hit.
could have organized a hit in prison.
So dumb.
Weird. She goes
But
there
she wants to do it herself.
Why?
with a hairpin.
With a hairpin. like it's like
I
a
can
paperclip.
understand wanting to do it herself, but then anyway, she does go there, and then she realizes that it was like approved by Jamie or whatever, and then
No, the dad.
the dad,
Yeah.
Jamie's dad,
Yeah.
and then
the lawyer.
the lawyer like
Yeah,
approved
yeah.
it,
She
or
goes,
the
"Is this
lawyer
him?"
spoke to him or something.
She goes, "Is this
About
him?"
it.
And it's
Yeah.
Jamie.
and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, and then
Yeah.
she's just like giving the prisoner a lecture, like you're a bad man. Like,
It's just
It's
silly.
weird.
Like he knows
Yeah.
he's a bad man. He's in prison. Like who gives a shit? Like,
also,
this is dumb.
yeah, and then hang on,
Yes.
then she kidnaps a priest. and forces him to get her and Rip married.
So-
I didn't like it.
What? Oh
I don't
my
like
God.
it.
Lucy,
I can't.
you talk.
You talk
because
Let's hear your perspective.
I like.
you love him.
I
Love her.
absolutely love Beth. I think that she is the most amazing character when she goes down always to breakfast at the Dutton Ranch, and she always causes a massive scene. I think that table for her brings back a lot of memories of her childhood.
My mum.
She didn't have a good relationship with her mum.
Yeah.
Obviously, after what happened with Jamie, she didn't have a very good relationship with him either. So I think going there just brings back so many past memories that she probably hasn't dealt with, and she's trying to deal with, maybe not in the right way. But I think she's lonely. I don't think there's no other female in her immediate
That's
family
true.
that she can look to. I think she's doing the best she can. She also is the one who supports John the most.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love her.
I agree. Beth has been one of my favorite characters. I do think some of the writing around this was a bit silly. Like you just mentioned the prison thing and the priest. I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is all just a bit silly. But then again, that's who she is. She's written in as that character, the tough girl. I did think in this season though, there was the biggest character development of her out of pretty much anyone else.
Yeah.
And for the reason that in the first 3 seasons, she was quite one-dimensional, that she was just this like tough, bad bitch that would just like, screw anyone. She's like, yeah, I'm the only woman here, but I'm hard. And, just like, she's the only one that could stick it to Rip and stick it to the dad. And she was calling the shots almost. And then you see her in this season in my favorite scene in the whole series where she's with Walker.
Oh, yeah.
And
she's
she
been
goes,
kicked out.
She goes, play me a song. Yeah, she's been kicked out. And she goes like, play me a song. And he goes like, happy or sad? He goes, sad. And then he plays, it's Ryan Bingham, and he plays Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And he plays, which is like one of his songs. You can look it up on Spotify, Ryan Bingham. And he plays this song, and she just breaks down, like completely loses her shit, bawls her eyes out.
It's so sad.
It's so
It is
sad.
very sad.
And Rip her now husband to be or now husband, I forget where
Partner,
it happens.
yeah.
They're
But
not married
he
yet.
sees it and he just sort of lets it happen, and like she's having a moment, and it's so full on. Like it just like this girl has just
But
got
that shows
so
that she's
much
real.
baggage, yeah, and that's
Shows.
why I liked the way she developed this season.
Yeah.
But I don't like some of the weird things they did to make her keep this bad girl image alive. But I did love that. I thought, and that's my favorite scene in the whole thing. Like,
I would like to see her, like she's now finally like letting things come out. I would like to see her, really addressing her issues, and I would love to see her like redeemed, because like, and this is like a side note, like why did she join market equities? That just ended up like not really doing anything.
Because
She like
it's
helped
a plan for them
to get the
help
other plan.
the ranch.
Yeah, I get it. And she did learn a lot. Like she did learn
She's
about the whole
very
village and
intelligent.
stuff.
Yeah, she is.
Very intelligent.
But I
think-
just thought like they could have done something better.
I think they need to soften her up a bit in the next season and
But I
get
think they
get her
will.
into her maternal, like highlight those qualities, which we sort of saw glimpses of
With the kid.
But then she was just a bitch to him, and it was
But I
just
think
so
the reason
random.
why she was a bitch to Carter in the shot when he's going to try on those clothes is that she saw, like, she basically grew up with Rip. He was there on like the ranch since he was like 13.
It's that tough love thing.
And she
trying to
saw
make-
like the tough love that John gave to Rip, and look what like the character that Rip has become. And she wants that for Carter. Like
same
Rip was
path.
out
Rip.
there scooping up shit the whole time when he was growing up on the ranch. So that she wants that for Carter. I
I
think
get that as well.
I get that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Carter. The actor that plays him is Australian, Finn Little. And even
was
though
great.
the character, didn't have that much to do this season, he was pretty
I
good.
think it's going to make a big. He'll have a big role in season 5, and I think he was really, really good. I actually didn't know he was Australian, so that's really cool.
Me too. I was very surprised.
he wore the
it's
same
incredible.
clothing for the first 5 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was
The show.
intentional.
Sleeping
Seriously.
in the barn.
Yeah,
Um,
shoveling shit.
Let's go on to Casey. He was off on his own this season. What did we think of Casey's arc?
To me, he was the biggest letdown of the season. He was
Yeah,
my
I
favorite
agree.
character, as like one of, and this season was just his whingy wife,
Monica.
Monica.
made him leave the ranch, and they just left.
Go back
and
to
then
the reserve.
that was it. I mean, he did he was the livestock commissioner and all that stuff, and that was great. And he did some great work. And you sort of, I feel like for him, this was a big, and for a lot of the characters, it was a big setup. I feel for a big season 5.
It's a setup.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a big setup. So, I mean, you sort of see him getting favor of the people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really didn't like his character
Yeah.
arc. I thought the ending was absolute bullshit, where he just is
Hallucinating.
starving and hallucinating in the woods
With
for
the
4
wolf.
I
days.
think
Rubbish. Like it sucked.
It was
It
so
sucked. Like
random.
get out there and start shooting bad guys. Stop just like tripping balls in the
though,
woods.
in 1883, which is the prequel to Yellowstone, which has come out,
Spoilers.
most of the like show is about the relationship between the Indians and the
ranch.
Duttons when they first come there. So I think that maybe is kind of
Trying to connect.
trying to connect people to watching that. I have no idea. I've only watched a tiny bit of 1883, but I know it's very prevalent on the Indians. So
I think that's all gonna pop off next season.
Season
I
5,
hope it
yeah.
does anyway.
Yeah.
Because I hate that they're all buddy buddy now.
Yeah.
Chief Rainwater.
But they kind of have to be right now because they're against
They're all facing against
the market equity.
Yeah, I get it, but I reckon next season
There's
they
going to be
should they should
tyrant.
start getting back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have Mo sniping some of the Duttons.
Oh, Mo's great.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, Mo is great.
We obviously already touched on how he has to deal with Tate and Monica, but what about when he was just like, there was that episode where he like kind of flirts with that other
girl
chick, and then she's
Yes.
part of the
Weird.
hallucination. It was just random.
Weird.
Like, what is
It
it?
was just-
Nothing happened.
It's
I
just
think
strange.
maybe Monica and Casey are gonna end.
Maybe split. Yeah.
And
And then maybe they
this
fight
new
against each other
chick's
and
gonna,
the two chicks.
yes. And then the new chick's gonna come in.
That battle will be its own show.
Yeah, another spin-off.
Juicy.
What do we think of Rip's character arc? He didn't really have much going on this year.
I think
this
Rip
season.
is one-dimensional.
Really?
Yeah,
I disagree.
Really?
I think he's complex, but in the past few seasons he has done some awesome stuff. Like he's so.
I feel like he's
at least
universally everyone's favorite kind of character.
I would
People
say
love him.
he was my
Yeah.
favorite character.
Really?
But yeah, just because he like came from nothing.
He's the big guy.
I thought that was really interesting that he like had to. He watched his father
kill his mom.
kill his
his
mother,
mum.
and like he's dealing with that, and like pays for a really nice tombstone, has like no money because of it. So I think he's interesting because of that, but nothing really happened this season. He was just kind of like with Beth. We didn't really get any cool stuff that he did. Like, not that it's all about killing people, but like
he
In saying that,
Just
I
kill a
think,
few people.
I think that played in. So I think the writing thing came into it again this season where they obviously love Rip. And then they started making Rip not do anything bad ever again. Like, he's
Yeah.
just the good guy now. So although it did play into, I feel like you saw a softer side around Rip,
Yeah.
particularly with Beth
Yeah.
and with Jimmy
Yeah.
and with the kid Carter.
With Carter, yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
you
more
see,
he gets to know him,
they
the
just
softer he
placed a
gets.
big emphasis on this, and I feel like they forgot about what makes Rip so good is that he's
Yeah.
just going to kill anyone
For sure.
that ever steps in the way of the Duttons.
But
And
when
if
he
you-
goes up to Walker and Lloyd and in the paddock and he just completely rips Lloyd
beats the
apart.
shit out of Lloyd, and
Oh my God.
I agree.
Lloyd was being a little bitch
Lloyd's a
this
little
season.
bitch.
Really? I don't like Walker.
Oh, dude, I love Walker.
Okay, let's touch on that. So, like, Lloyd was angry that this girl that's like 40 years younger than
Yeah.
him was getting with someone else.
And
And,
then
then
this
he's just like
this-
moping around for like 4 episodes, like being all pissed
Because
off.
Walker comes in, he's just dead set stud, and he whips out the guitar and just starts playing a couple songs.
Yeah,
and
but
she
like-
He
just
also
falls for-
threw a knife at Walker in a
Yes!
fight.
so
Yeah,
uncalled
that
for.
was intense. That was intense.
You
So
stabbed a
did it.
guy. You stabbed a guy because this
Yeah, but
He's going with
maybe-
someone.
because this 20-year-old
Go
girl.
with your girl.
That was ridiculous.
Maybe he hadn't
it's
had
like-
another
I
chick
reckon-
in a
I feel
while.
like he's just like, I had dibs. Like, it's bullshit, dude.
I reckon he
I hate the
deserved
player.
every punch that Rip gave him.
Yeah.
at the end.
Really?
He was a
Oh.
gimp.
He
I
deserve-
reckon, I reckon
yeah.
Lloyd, I love Lloyd. He's like, hey Jimmy, you're a cowboy, Jimmy. I love it. Like Lloyd makes me
I used-
happy.
yeah.
But God, he was being a sook.
He was being a sook for half the season.
But I think he really liked that girl, and Walker just came in and took
But then
her.
she, you know,
barrel
and what
racers.
she
The
doesn't have a
barrel
choice.
racing. Yeah.
She doesn't have a choice, Luce. Let's think about that.
yeah.
She
That's
does
empower-
have a choice, but I
She
just
doesn't
feel
like Lloyd.
Oh, what? She has to stick with the
okay,
old
she doesn't
powerful
like
head of
Lloyd,
the
but
bunkhouse.
Maybe Lloyd hadn't had a chick in a while, and
Yeah, but
probably
grow
because he's a
up.
power-hungry Gronk.
I thought before
True.
that, I thought Lloyd was just this like cool guy who didn't need anyone else.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he
runs his own
he's-
race.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
God, and he
weird.
started pulling. Oh, I just don't like it. I
Oh,
think
weird.
fair to her and fair to Walker for
And
just,
fair to Rip.
because they and
Rip?
yeah
Oh.
because they ended up having their own little thing. You know, they were sitting out under the stars. You know, listening to music and boinking. And Lloyd
Yeah,
just
in the
and Lloyd was just a weirdo who was watching it.
Watching
And,
it.
like he would watch it.
Lloyd's like
dude, go to
secretly
bed.
just like a
Get some Z's.
weirdo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go to
he's a
bed.
bit, yeah.
Anyway,
You
let's see.
freak.
We'll see what happens to Lloyd in the next season. Another key character that we need to touch on as well, Jimmy.
My favorite of the whole series.
Yeah.
he's my
He's
favorite.
great.
What do we think?
I love it. I have a gripe with this season. So I just think the character development of Jimmy has been great.
Yeah.
He's so personable, so likable. The actor, who's the actor's name?
Jefferson White.
Jefferson White. Yeah, he's incredible, and he makes Jimmy so personable and loving, and you're rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he left Mia, and then, I mean, that was fine, but then he just went to the Sixers, and like they just skimmed over the fact that he fell in love and got married
With the vet, yeah.
with the vet. Like, I feel like
Did they get married?
No, they're not married.
they're engaged.
I think
They're
they're engaged. Yeah.
And him and Mia's story was like developed over like a whole season and like really great.
She was with him in the hospital.
Yeah, and she was great and so loving, and you know, she's
like 2 broken backs or whatever.
Yeah,
She would
and
do
she
all
was
the
just
physio with him.
she was incredible. She's a barrel racer, and you know, she was great. and then Jimmy just leaves, and then just all of a sudden comes back and is engaged, and they didn't touch on it at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, to be fair, in Jimmy's
He didn't have a
like
choice. He had to go.
She's a barrel racer. Like, where was she before the Dutton Ranch? She was probably doing the same
I
thing.
get that. I'm just
that's true.
And I don't.
At
With another guy.
I don't
Yeah.
mind.
Not
I
to
don't mind. this-
Predator.
I don't mind the new girl either.
I
who
like
I
the
forget
new
her
girl.
name, but like show us. I don't know. Show us why they fell in love. It's kind of they just sort of just said like, oh, like they slept with each other on his last night or something, and then
No, they fell in love
No, they-
because when he goes and she's there,
She's,
with
like,
the horses
taking
like
on a
trying
date.
to
oh, he's
impreg-
wanking off the
trying to
horse to
impregnate
get
them,
the
yeah.
horse semen. Yeah,
And he's really interested in what she's doing. They went on a date.
They went on
because-
a date.
Yeah, there's only one restaurant or something in the town.
call me old fashioned, but like,
I
give
do
me some more juice.
Other than that, I thought Jimmy was my favorite character this season. I thought
Yeah.
that it was so cool to see him
grows
like
up.
being worked hard at the 4 Sixes, seeing
And-
all these old
Yeah.
like famous like cowboys and stuff, and they're telling him like
So
the
sick.
best part about like being a cowboy is like when no one's watching and it's just you and the like horizon or whatever.
That was-
and
And he
grew up.
practices a lot with his rope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he gets
he's
really
learned
good.
some rope. It's
gets
really,
He
really
gets
cool.
really good.
And I think again the footage of the Sixers, the slow mo footage of the horses stopping.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
It's
like
so beautiful.
I never knew about this world
Yeah,
until
and
this
the
show.
main horse trainer, that's Taylor Sheridan.
That's Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, I didn't
Like,
know
that's
that.
amazing.
The
Cameo.
rider,
The rider of
He's
Yellowstone.
the main horse trainer.
Shut the
And
fuck
he
up, Jimmy.
actually part-
yeah, it's so good.
He part owns the Sixers Ranch. Like the real
Taylor
Sixers.
Sheridan.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan.
Of the actual
No way.
Sixers ranch.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's
Jesus
about
Christ.
to. Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh my
It's
god.
So,
We'll touch on that in a bit. Now let's get into like we've already touched on it a bit, but what were the sort of scenes or plot points that you guys didn't like that we haven't already spoken about for season 4? Well, I'll start. So I think that there are a few things that I had gripes with. We already touched on how they kind of brushed under the rug who did the attack on the Duttons. Thought it could have been better. One thing that I didn't like was that there was just like a random flashback in like episode 5 or 6 with John being a kid, and it had nothing to do with the plot. And it
Yeah.
was purely to set up
1883.
1883,
Yeah.
which is the prequel show. So I went and did some digging. I didn't like that they put that in there. I went and did some digging.
Yeah.
We already mentioned how they're also making a spin-off series with the 4 Sixes, which I'm sure Jimmy will be the main character of.
Hope so.
I love Jimmy, but I don't know if he deserves his own TV show.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, do you think?
I do.
Okay.
I mean,
He's
Jimmy's quite
such a
literally
lovable
my
character.
DP.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy. Like, he's
yeah, but like he doesn't say a lot. Like
no, I
He's
know.
But
been
that's
character.
what I feel like that's what
That's who
his
he is.
character
He
is
could.
developing, and that's why another
Yeah.
season will show how
Rip,
far.
Rip doesn't say a lot, but he's a lot of people's favorite character.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All I mean is like Yellowstone isn't like Lord of the Rings. Like they can't just
Yeah.
make a million shows.
I know.
About
I think those
might.
Well, they are. They're also making a 1932 that is between Yellowstone and 1883.
Shut up.
Maybe that's a
They've
bit
made
much.
4 shows,
Just
or they're
shut
making 4
up.
shows. Like
How
Taylor
many,
Sheridan.
How many
like
Cowboys?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
and none of them
I
will
didn't
be
like-
as good as
I
Yellowstone.
didn't like that they were trying to set up these.
I
things.
picked on it straight away as well.
Yeah.
Just because I knew about 1883, I was just like, this is bullshit. They showed the old
Yeah.
John Dutton and all. And, I was just
Yeah,
like, this
just,
sucks. Like, yeah, I didn't really like that. I also, I mean, I hate to bring it back to Beth. Beth.
Please don't
but
hate
Rip
on
and Beth's
her.
wedding.
You mentioned it earlier, but fucking hell, like, here you have this like uber rich billionaire daughter woman who's like this boss
Yeah.
and then she goes to market equities and she is just ripping into her assistant, her secretary, for no reason. For no reason.
None.
And saying the most like, degrading sexual, comments and just ripping on this like minimum wage employee who's just a secretary who's just a shit kicker for no reason. I remember watching that just being like, I laughed, but I was just like, you are such a bitch. Like it's not
She
even
was
funny.
so mean, like for no reason.
Because it makes it.
Yeah.
I feel like they went too far on the side of this girl's bad, and she's tough, which made it when they tried to redeem her and be like, oh no, but she wants a son. Oh, she's in love with the Rip.
Yeah, but
it
then
made me hate her too much already to actually appreciate that enough.
Also, she fired the receptionist, right? And
Yeah,
then
fired her
never
first
left.
day.
And then she fires him again and again. And like,
it's just
what are you
like,
doing?
Yeah, it's probably
come
unnecessary.
on.
And I think that another thing that... So you touched on how Jimmy and Mia... Is it Mia? The previous...
Yeah, Mia.
Me is the original girl.
The barrel racer.
Who,
So-
by the way, just on the side, God, I'm in love with her.
Really? I think they what about the new girlfriend?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe barrel races is just my thing.
That's your
but,
thing. You should head on over.
You should go to Montana.
Oh, I've thought about it. I looked up
But
plane price.
she... After you looked up horse
After I looked
lessons.
up local city horse riding, I looked up plane tickets to Montana.
Mia isn't in the season the entire time because
because she leaves because she's pissed off.
she got
That's what
Well, she-
annoys
she
me.
left-
She got banned
she got
No, the
banned.
three
The
girls-
girls
because of the
got
fighting.
banned.
They have
No
to
fighting
leave.
in the bunkhouse.
Yeah,
Which I think is absolutely absurd that they have to leave because of the guys fighting.
it was
well,
a bit
rules are
absurd,
rules.
but
But it's not the girl's fault.
Well, it
It's not
quite
the girl's
clearly
fault.
is the girl's fault.
It's not the girl's
No,
fault. I'm
it's
sorry,
not-
it's
it's
not the
Lloyd's
girl's fault.
fault.
Yeah,
It's
it's Lloyd's
Lloyd's
fault.
fault.
Who's Lloyd?
These three girls shouldn't have to leave because
No.
Lloyd and Walker are having a fight. That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
no, I agree. But nonetheless, it's happened. John Dutton made the rules, but she's not there the entire time. But then she just comes out of nowhere when Jimmy and his new girl are coming back, and
Pass the whiskey to Michael.
so Mia just shows up in the bunkhouse with her friend when Jimmy's coming back to rekindle with the Duttons, and she's come out of nowhere, and you're watching and you're like, wait, wasn't she banned? And then they're playing poker, and I wrote down like how they tried to explain why she was there. And the guys are playing poker and she beats him in whatever hand they're doing. And he's like, didn't you three girls get fired? And then she's like, no, we can still come back. And it's like, oh, okay.
Since when?
Yeah, what?
Since
like,
when?
that-
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but like,
it was so...
Wait, so
like,
they didn't say that? I thought they said that the girls were allowed to come back.
no.
No,
They
what
got
she
banned.
says is, oh, so if you get fired from McDonald's, you can never go to McDonald's again? Like, what?
Yeah.
I did not
mean,
like that.
Yeah, I think it comes back. I think season 5, it's set up now to be really great and be as good as season 1 and 2. And I think they should just really try to focus on it being, like, maybe get some new writers in, like get some new writers to really beef it up again and make it good. Because
Well, Taylor Sheridan wants his whole universe, Yellowstone universe. Yeah, I don't know. They need to seriously...
That's what season 4 was for, though. It's giving
of a
set it up.
It's a setup. And
Yeah.
season 5, it's gonna
Yeah,
big things are coming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I hope so. I just
Yeah. I think maybe we reverse it. What were some of your favorite scenes of the season? I would say personally that with Jimmy being my favorite character this season, when John Dutton's like, no, you don't have to repay your debt. He's saying goodbye to everyone. Lloyd's like crying, and Rip, who's this like emotionless character usually, he's like, I'm proud of you. And I was
said
like,
there's
that
always a
was the
place
best.
for you here at
Yeah,
Yellowstone.
like
That was
Cowboys
beautiful.
don't
that
say
was
goodbye;
beautiful.
they say see you soon or whatever.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
I love
What about
it.
you guys?
You guys will probably disagree, but I think when Beth comes in
Fires the
and
receptionist.
rips on the vegan, I think that is bloody great.
Oh yeah, that's quite.
She
Oh,
just
that
like
was quite funny.
puts her in a place, gets her out of her house. Yeah, I think that was bomb. Love Beth.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it. I agree, Michael. I loved I love that Jimmy scene. I love this whole season about Jimmy. That the scene with Walker and Beth. I've rewatched it because it's just so beautiful.
The crying scene.
Yeah. She's like sitting there, just bawling her eyes out. She's clearly got so much built up stuff, and just listen to this song. And again, Hallelujah by Ryan Bingham. It's a great tune. And
Very good.
that for me would be just. It's my favorite scene of the whole series. Like, it's just gorgeous.
No, that was good. And speaking of like what we're thinking of season 5, any predictions that we have? Where people will go? Who's going to win the kind of feud between market equities, the tribe, the Duttons? What do you guys think?
I think the Duttons are going down. I really think season 5 could be the end of Yellowstone. I just think.
And the start of 1883?
Yeah. I think market equity, it's just, they're not going to be able to beat it. They're going to run out of funds, as John was saying, that they actually won't be able to afford to go up against them. So I think the Duttons are out. That's what I'm thinking.
I disagree because purely based on the fact that like you've seen in series in the past where it's like in suits. Like in Yellowstone, for example, it's like they're going to lose the ranch. No, they're not. They're going to lose the ranch. Oh, no, it's right. And it's in suits. It's like, Mike's going to get caught. Oh, no, he didn't. Mike's going to get caught. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I think they might do something where it gets really close or maybe they do get a small loss. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to keep this going.
But how much longer can they keep going?
Well, you never know. I do think the rainwater argument for the water is going to be really interesting. Like the environmental thing. Like you can't forget that.
Yeah, they'll push that.
And I think at the start of this season, they might have my prediction is they're going to have a win against market equities and they're going to stop this airport thing being built. And then they're going to get straight into this Indian cowboy battle.
But how do you think they're going to win? They actually don't have like the liquidated funds to fight. Like they've only got.
Dude, who knows? Like in all these series, like they're like these people, the writers are actually smarter than us. And like in Peaky Blinders, it happened all the time. Like how the hell are they going to win it against these Italians? And they just do it somehow in a way that blows your mind.
Yeah.
I feel like logically they're not going to have the Duttons lose. Like, I think they're going to win. Or
do you think that Yellowstone will end though? Like whenever it does, with the Duttons being on top. Like
I reckon my prediction is that they're gonna actually do a bit of a handshake agreement with the Indians and maybe allocate kind of some land to the thing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they want the same
it's a bit
thing.
Boring.
Like they want the land to remain the same, except John wants his fences up. And it's just, I think hopefully, he kicks the bucket and like Casey shakes hands with, Rainwater and they just do it like that. And
I wouldn't mind some really high stakes stuff, like someone big dies. Because no one has died the entire time. Like
except
the Dutton's son.
I think Beth could go.
No way.
I reckon that'd shake
no
it up.
Way.
I reckon it'd shake it up.
No.
Or
maybe
Casey,
not Beth,
maybe
but
I don't think Beth can go.
I would cry if Casey died.
Same.
I want that. I want someone to die, like to create stakes, because market equities, they have been threatening like financially, but nothing really like physically or aggressively. Like I want something big to happen, and we got that in season 3, and I think something big needs to happen for season 5.
Do you think it has to be a death? Is that what we
death
think?
or like a limb chop?
Something,
something big.
Maybe
there's not enough stakes. Like if
Rip loses a hand and can't ride a horse. Like something.
I would hate for that to happen, but like,
or maybe the kid dies. I don't know.
If they can
or John dies, and then it's like
if John can be shot like 20 times,
John's not going to die.
He needs like a bomb, like. I don't know.
I just want to be on my knees.
I want to be
in a vulnerable state, crying and like calling up my nan for comfort, because that's what I want. And I didn't get that this season really, except for that Beth moment.
Did you cry when Beth was so vulnerable though?
I didn't cry, but I was
laughing.
Laughing?
Really? No, I didn't cry. I was. And I'm a bit of a sook with TV shows, so I'm not a stranger to the old cry. But I did get very like wow, that was deep.
Nah,
surely you liked her a bit more after that, Michael.
I did. I have respect. I have more respect for her, and I hope that as I said before, I really hope that she redeems herself, becomes mature, whatever, in season 5.
Definitely.
I think it's as a whole. Yeah, it's just. we've sort of shit on this season a lot, eh?
We have.
But it
a
is
great show.
such a sick show. Like
It's an amazing
It's
show.
incredible. I was really, really impressed with this to the point where I'd put it up there with the Breaking Bads, with the Peaky Blinders, like in terms of those amazing shows. And I think it's evident in the success of it as well.
Yeah.
I just think, this season quite clearly was a bit of a setup for perhaps
The Yellowstone universe.
you're right. For the like literally, if you're gonna relate it to Marvel, the universe, but
Yeah.
also for this fifth, potentially final season or something like, I don't know. They might just be setting it up in a
Yeah.
and it sort of just missed the mark a bit with a few things.
If anything, though, back to what you said, the scenery, as always, was amazing.
Amazing.
And
So
I want to go to
good.
Montana just because of this show.
The show
So
is amazing. It's an
I'm-
amazing show.
I feel like I have to go. Like it's
Yeah.
just
and people of all
being on a
ages love it.
ranch.
Yeah.
It resonates with so many people.
For
All the oldies love
the
it.
oldies.
And they just
Yeah,
fucking
I'm sure they do.
froth John Dutton.
Anyway, so that is a wrap for Yellowstone Season 4. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Cinemates, a podcast where a bunch of mates chat about cinema over some drinks. Today we had some lovely Jack Daniels that was really, really tasty.
Absolutely putrid.
But nonetheless, huge thank you to Lucy and Sam for coming on the show.
Thank you for
Hope you
having
enjoyed
us.
it.
It was great.
Thanks, Michael.
Great to break
Love it.
down Yellowstone. Hopefully Season 5, we get some serious stuff from Taylor and the boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let us know what you want to hear in future episodes. And if you ever want to send in a mailbag or do an elevator pitch to me, send us a DM on Instagram at cinemaze_. Otherwise, we will catch you for the next episode. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Cinemates. If you enjoyed it, you can follow us and leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all other major platforms. Also, if you haven't already, check out our Instagram and YouTube channel for more Cinemaze content and let us know what you thought of this episode. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge Australia's first people as the traditional owners and custodians of the land and pay respect to the Cammeraygal people of the Eora Nation upon whose country Cinemaze is based. We honour the storytelling and culture of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities across Australia. Also, in the spirit of chatting with mates, remember it's always important to check in with those around you, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues. Sometimes they may be going through a hard time, and chatting with them may reassure that they aren't alone. If you or anyone you know is ever struggling, call Lifeline on 13 11 14.